Hi everyone, my name is REZA Freendy PRADANA. I am the delegation from the postgraduate program of Business Administration and Policy, the Faculty of Administrative Sciences, Universitas Indonesia. In this special occasion, I would like to share the result of my latest research concerning the influence of the financial knowledge, financial attitude, and financial behavior on the millennial professional investment choice. As we know, the financial services industry in Indonesia regionally takes part in giving contributions to the economic and financial sector's growth. This contribution is critical in supporting welfare of the community and economic development. This has only been realized through granting access to funding through the provisions of the bank credit. Thus, public can find it easier to get funding for their own business and or needs. Moreover, according to the data released by the Central Statistics Agency or BPS of the Republic of Indonesia in 2018, it is known that financial service institutions also have contributed to the increase in GDP through the role of financial intermediation. However, the magnitude of the provided financial services intermediations is still not optimum. By viewing the financial industry's shares in GDP, they only contributed 3% of the total GDP. The contributions made by the financial services industry are reflected by this following data. From the table above, it is known that the bank lending is the activity that provided the highest contributions of 4.7 thousand trillion Indonesian rupiahs in 2016. Furthermore, another significant role was also given due to the stock market capitalizations, insurance premiums, financing, and investment in pension funds. Based on this data and research conducted by OJK, it can be concluded that Indonesian people have begun to have an awareness on investment for their post-productive periods. Halim in 2005 explained that investment can be defined as the putting of a number of funds carried out in the present by expecting margin or profit in the future. In addition, investment can also be defined as an effort to delay consumptions in the hope of obtaining a benefit in the form of return for the time and risk of the investment. However, a person has the right to choose their investment instrument, such as investment represented by the banking sectors, which include savings, deposit, mutual funds, or etc. Millennial generations are the individuals who born between 1980 until 1998. Millennial generation is a generation that is identified with confident, independent, and goal-oriented attitudes. Moreover, millennials are thoughtful investors in making decisions. That is because they don't want to experience the same things as what their parents suffered or other events that occur in the vicinity. For this reason, they do different approach and research from those of the previous generations before investing in the money they have. The research they are doing is utilizing social media, websites, online simulation calculators, mobile applications, and various platforms that are considered to be able to help them to get information regarding the best investment they believe in. Furthermore, millennials are thoughtful investors in making decisions, especially for millennials who work in professional sectors. They are common to use their own knowledge and experience to make some decisions. In 2019, through her research, explained that the preferences of each individual are different from one to another. This is affected by differences in behavior and expectation for the investment they have chosen. In addition, there are differences in the level of risk and the level of return, which then affect the individual in making considerations of the selections of investment instrument. So that it is being critical to know more about the influence between the financial literacy, which can be measured by financial knowledge, financial attitude, and financial behavior to their preference in investment. This study refers to several theories that serve as a reference, which includes theories about financial literacy, financial knowledge, financial attitude, financial behavior, investment, and millennial generations. Thus, the literature leads us to formulate the following three research hypotheses. First, financial knowledge influences professional millennial investment choices. 2. Financial attitude influences professional millennial investment choices. 3. Financial behavior influences professional millennial investment choices. And now, let's talk about the research method. This research aimed to measure the influence of financial knowledge, financial attitude, and financial behavior on investment choices for millennial professionals by carried out quantitative or positivism approach. Furthermore, in terms of its objective, this research can be categorized as explanatory research. The data was obtained through an online questionnaire to 214 respondents and used Likert scale on range 1 to 5. After that, the data was analyzed with contingency analysis technique to determine the chi-square value. And after that, the chi-square value will be compared to the chi-square distribution table. And now, let's talk about the result of the conducted survey.
Firstly, let's talk about the respondents' demography and professional background. From the conducted survey, there are several aspects that can be described, including the gender of respondent, professional backgrounds, selected investment choice, and their level of financial knowledge, attitude, and behavior. According to the demographic profile as mentioned in the table, it shows that 160 respondents or 76.2% of them are male, while the other 23.8% are female. The respondents who involved in this research were individuals who were born between 1986 until 1998. It gives an idea that they can be categorized as millennial generation. The respondents also work in professional sectors such as tax consultant, public accountant, doctor, notary, architect, actuary, management consultant, advocate, or HR consultant. Hereinafter, this study only uses 5 alternative investment instruments prioritized by OJK, which are deposits, stocks, mutual funds, bonds, and gold. Based on the survey result on the table 3, it is known that 36% of respondents chose to invest in deposits, 31% of them prefer stocks, and 17% of respondents opt for mutual funds. Moreover, the number of respondents investing in bonds and golds are 10% and 6% respectively. After conducting research through survey, the author tries to measure the level of financial knowledge possessed by respondents. The measurement refers to the standard deviations as the central tendency. Using this method, respondents' financial knowledge level is classified into 5 categories, which include poor, fair, average, good, and excellent. In this kind of calculations and measurements, the author refers to the formula as introduced by Azwar in 2012. And now, let's talk about the hypothesis testing and discussions. Firstly, let's talk about the influence of financial knowledge on professional millennials' investment choice. The measurement of financial knowledge was conducted by giving 17 questions to respondents. According to the finding above, the study reveals that the most chosen investment is deposit with 78 respondents recorded. Moreover, it shows that 81 respondents have had good financial knowledge. In testing the hypothesis, the author considers 2 things. One is comparing the significant value to the margin error by 5%, and the other is by looking into the observed chi-square value compared to the values as listed in the chi-square table. From the data in Table 5, it is known that the significant value generated from the cross tabulations is 0.016, and the value is less than the value of the margin error, so the author decided not to reject the hypothesis 1. Also, the value of the chi-square is 30.33, when compared with the value of the chi-square distribution table, which result 26.29, and it is clear that the value of the chi-square is greater than the chi-square distribution table, which also consequently accept hypothesis 1. The result of this hypothesis testing are parallels with Arlan and Aren in their argument that financial knowledge can help an individual in making alternative financial decisions. Financial knowledge also helps someone in assisting someone in determining their finances, considering the financial knowledge has an influence on one's financial health. In addition, the following are the results of survey on the effect of financial attitude on investment choices. In Table 6, the value of observed chi-square is 39.14. When compared to the value of chi-square distribution table, the result is 26.29. This further shows that the observed chi-square value is greater than the table value, and it also accepts the hypothesis 2. Meanwhile, the significance value generated from the cross-tabulations is 0.001, and the value is less than the value of the margin error. So, the hypothesis 2 is not rejected. The testing result claims that financial attitude has a significant effect on investment choices. Likewise, this is similar to the opinion of Hergiono that states that financial attitude influences the way of someone in managing their finances. Then, financial attitude can also have positive influence on financial management, including in determining investment instruments that cannot be separated from their respective risk profile. Last but not least, let's find out the result of hypothesis testing on the influence of financial behavior on professional millennials' investment choice. We look at the cross-tabulation result on the effect of financial attitude on investment choice in Table 7. The value of the observed chi-square is 53.63, and it is greater than the chi-square value in distribution table, which is 26.29. Accordingly, the author decided to not reject the hypothesis 3. Meanwhile, the significance value generated from the cross-tabulations is 0.0 and made it valued less than 0.05 or the 5% of margin error. Hence, it can be further support the decisions not to reject the hypothesis 3. This finding is adjacent to the argument of Grufman and Menkoff that notes the level of financial knowledge and financial management habits will contribute to the formations of financial behavior. The better the financial behavior, the bigger possibility that an individual will have an investment with a characteristic that suit the behavior of managing their finances.
In conclusions, according to the survey and research done in this study, it can be concluded that 1. Financial knowledge significantly affects the investment choices of professional millennials. 2. Financial attitude significantly affects the investment choices of professional millennials. And 3. Financial behavior significantly affects the investment choices of professional millennials. So it means that both of the three hypotheses are accepted. From the conducted surveys, result, and the conclusions, it is known that it is being critical and important to know more about the financial literacy, which consists of three dimensions. It is financial knowledge, financial attitude, and financial behavior to increase the millennial awareness of financial life. So it can be increased the financial inclusions of the millennial generations. However, it is still recommended to use probability sampling methods in order to get better research that represents a larger populations. In addition, secondary data related to Indonesian official literacy can only be obtained from OJK, which has a cycle of the 3 years. So researchers are then expected to look for another secondary data sources. So that's the highlight for the upcoming researchers who also concerned about this issue. So those are the results of my latest research that I can share you. It is being a pleasure for me to have this kind of great opportunity. I am REZA FRENDY. Thank you very much for your attention and see you.